Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Saban. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And this is a show that I think is going to spark some interesting conversation today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel, and be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So let's get into today's topic, right? So it was about, let me see how long ago did we do this show? A few weeks ago, I would say about 3 to 4 weeks ago, we did a show on Will Cain. Now, as you guys know, Will Cain used to be at work at ESPN. He used to have some absolutely fiery segments on First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. That's when ESPN First Take was ESPN First Take, man, when they used to have those shows, those segments, right? And from time to time, they would discuss political issues. Sometimes it's directly related to sports, other times it wasn't. But one of the moments was, I believe I think it was Kevin Durant that said that he didn't want to go to the White House because I think the Warriors were during their championship run. And generally what happens is whenever a U.S. team, professional team wins, they usually go to the White House, right? Whether you're a basketball team, baseball team, NFL team, whatever. That's usually the custom. But sometimes some players decide not to go, right? And I think the former Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, I forgot his name, there was some noise about that this last time that I think he wanted to go or he didn't go. I don't remember. I think he went at the same time, right? I think he went, right? I don't remember. Anyway, so this happens, right? And these are the kind of conversations that they used to have. But anyway, in that show that we produced, we were reacting to an Awful Announcing article that was talking about a sit-down that Will Cain did on Sage Steele's show, where he was talking to her, and he essentially told her that people at ESPN told him that black people hate him. And I was like, really? I never heard about this. So what we want to do is I want you guys to take a listen to this article here. I want to read a little bit from it, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to this here. And Will Cain. Will Cain thought black people loved him when he was at ESPN. ESPN management, however, didn't appear to agree. Cain joined a recent episode of the Sage Steele show where they discussed having conservative viewpoints while working at ESPN. Throughout much of his ESPN tenure, Cain was embraced by First Take for bringing a conservative viewpoint to the show. And while he often sparred with Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman over issues such as Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, Cain believed he was still relating to the show's black viewers. I said to Stephen A., I said on camera, in a lot of ways, black guys and I people don't believe this. We hit it off because we grew up and the culture we had is similar. In North Texas, native told Steele, I'm painting with a broad brush. Not everybody does, but the debate world, the idea that I can say something to you in a disagreement and it's not mean. And it doesn't mean I don't like you, especially around the world of sports. I just never felt like that was a thing. So what if I said you're wrong? And a lot of black guys at ESPN were operating on the same wavelength. ESPN management, however, didn't appear to be sold on Cain's assessment that he was hitting it off with black people during his time on First Take. One time management told me, Cain recalled, they said, we did a focus group. Black people hate you. And I said, no, they don't. I mean, I meet them all the time. They love me. According to Cain, the unnamed ESPN executive countered by saying black people are polite. They're not going to tell you to your face. Excellent. So that was that. And I thought that we were done with it. So this morning, as you guys know, from time to time, we talk politics on this show, and we watch a range. I watch a range of political commentators, right? I watch people, conservative views, liberal views, whatever, right? Because I'm still learning, and I'm not Stephen A. Smith that believes I know it all. No. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about it. That's why I'm dabbling, right? Dabbling. But anyway, I came across this video, right? Actually, from a white guy who's a former U.S. Who's a U.S. veteran. His name is Jesse Dolmore, right? I came across his video just this morning, right? And the video title said, Fox News delivers neo-Nazi message about white people and culture being superior to all others, right? Now, generally, I wouldn't click on the video, right? Because whatever. But I saw Will Cain's face on the video, right? And then it made me, on the thumbnail, excuse me. And then made me think, well, damn, we just spoke about this, right? So I'm like, okay, let me see what Will Cain is saying here. So for those of you who didn't hear Will's comments, I want to play it for you now. And I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Will Cain here.
You know, I'm sure there are very honorable, law-abiding, upstanding citizens and contributors from the Somali community here in the United States. But that doesn't mean we can't use our judgment, our wisdom, in analyzing the various contributions of communities and cultures. We're not going to pretend here that all cultures are of equal value or are the same. No one really believes that. No one makes individual choices on a day-to-day basis that reveals they think all cultures are the same, where they choose to live, what they choose to eat, who they choose to socialize with. It's mostly a virtue signal, and that's what you get from most politicians. When it comes to this very serious conversation that needs to be had about our culture here in America, you normally get from politicians just pandering, just nonsense, just stuff like this from Minnesota's mayor.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities. And so, to our Somali community, Daman Shabka, Somalied Kunul, Minnesota, Garahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Ku Janilahai, Waan, Ku Gereb, Taganahan.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. I would be curious, I don't know Somali, if that's a little bit like Jill Biden saying she likes tacos. I don't know, because it's in Somali. I speak English because I live in America. And that's the point. This is a country with a culture, and we have a right to ask whether or not all cultures are compatible with the culture of America.
Excellent. So you heard what Will had to say. Now, when we produced that show 3-4 weeks ago, I remember saying I like Will Cain, or I liked Will Cain, whatever. I never had any issues with Will Cain, right? And I never felt that way about him. But a lot of our viewers were telling me in the comments, actually I was surprised at the amount of people that were commenting, but bro, we don't like him. We don't like him. I was like, damn, well, I never knew. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to Will Cain. Maybe I was not, right? I never paid attention. I only saw him on First Take, so I didn't really, So a lot of people in the comments were like, bro, you don't know about Will. So it was kind of these things where I was like, oh, okay, I guess I missed that kind of thing, right? So when I now heard these comments that Will Cain had to make about the culture, and obviously Will Cain is reacting to the comments that President Donald Trump had to make about the Somalians and all that. I'm sure you guys have heard that, right? So what are my thoughts about this? First of all, I never knew Will Cain felt this way, right? I never knew he felt this way. I don't follow Will Cain, so I don't know, right? I never knew. But I guess, you know what? I was trying to understand where is Will coming? Because the simplistic way to say is Will is a racist, right? Will is a racist, and he's up there talking like Stephen Miller during not Charlie Kirk's, I think Charlie Kirk's funeral. So that's the simplest way to look at it. But I was trying to understand what did I miss here? And I'm guessing that this has to do with the fact of how I grew up, right? Because I was born in Maryland, grew up in New York City. So I guess I have a different perspective growing up from Will, right? I don't know where Will is from. I think Texas or somewhere. I don't know. But growing up in New York City, you have a totally different experience from most places in the country. You will seldom hear a New Yorker say something like this. You seldom would, because New York City is the ultimate melting pot. But as a whole, America is a melting pot, right? And if we're looking at it from a cultural standpoint, funny enough, I was just thinking to myself, what was it, about a few days ago, about a week or so ago, and I was saying to myself, like, damn, I miss the States, man. Damn, I miss the States. Why? Because it's Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving, and where I am, we're not celebrating Thanksgiving. And I'm like, man, I miss the States, man. It would have been so fun, like just the memories. Y'all don't, right? You're like, man, it's so much fun and all of this stuff. So I was just kind of having a nostalgic moment for myself. But the fact of the matter is, there are two layers to culture in the United States. There are two. There's the let's say the first layer, which is American culture, right? Which is what we all kind of share together. If you grew up in the States or born in the States, wherever, where we do similar things, Super Bowl Sunday is a big thing. Labor Day is a big thing. All these holidays we all share. Where we have certain customs. It's just what Americans do, right? Regardless of your background, this is the American thing to do, right? You have that layer of it where we all share these things in common. Then you have the subcultures, which is what? Well, America is made up of it's a country made up of immigrants, basically. In America, we all know this. I don't even know why I have to explain this. Yes, you have Americans, but under that, you have different groups of people. When the Irish came over, the Italians came, where did they come from? Did they come from Mars? Or did they not come from these countries, right? So all of these people came to the United States with those cultures that they had there. And what you have is a fusion of these things, right? So give you an example. You go to New York City, you're going to have Irish American, you're going to have Italian American, Chinese American, Jamaican American, the full gambit, right? So you can be walking down the street and you can be hearing somebody speaking French, Spanish, Italian, Chinese, whatever the hell it is. These people are all Americans. You can't walk up to them and tell them they're not an American. You can't do that. Who are you to tell them that they're not American? They've been here for generations. They're Americans, right? But it doesn't mean that, they're not. There's no such thing as an Italian American or a French American, or no, it's bullshit, right? And we all know this, right? So Will saying these things, it almost makes it seem like he's oblivious to this, or it's like, do you live in America? Or, I mean, I'm confused. Like, Will saying that is confusing to me. Obviously, when he made the comments about speaking English, America's an English-speaking country. We all speak English, right? It's the spoken language in the States, and everybody should speak English. But we all know this already, so Will isn't breaking any news here. But it doesn't mean because that's a spoken language, that's the only language you're going to hear. Well, like, what are we talking about here? Like, you're going to go into places and people are going to be speaking their language. People are going to be speaking Indian, or Hindu, whatever. I don't know the languages. People are going to be speaking French, whatever. That's what people do, right? Does it make it less American? Because, I don't know, an Italian family, they get together for the holidays, for Christmas, and they're in their house. They're all Americans, generations, but they decide to speak Italian, or they decide to eat Italian food. Like, what are we talking about here? We talk about food. There's the American foods that we all love and enjoy, hamburgers, hot dogs, all of this stuff that we all cherish, love, pizza, and all of that stuff. But it doesn't mean that when you go into people's houses, they're not going to be eating food from their cult. What are we talking about here? So, in conclusion, I'm surprised at Will Cain's comments. It's like, it almost seems like something a child would say, or somebody that's not lived in the United. I'm truly confused by what he's trying to say here. Like, we all know this already, Will. So what are you talking about? You understand? I only speak English. Good for you, Will. We all speak English, but there are other people that speak other languages. Will, I mean, what do we talk? Look at Kobe Bryant and his wife. Is Kobe Bryant's wife not American? Does she not speak Spanish? Like, what do you mean? What are you saying? So I'm very surprised to hear Will say these kind of things. I really am. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what America he's referring to. America is a melting pot, for goodness sake. If anybody here that's watching this video that's in college, in your university, don't you see different type of people walking around from different ethnic backgrounds? Are they not American? Of course they are, right? But don't they look different? I don't know what the hell Will Cain is talking about here. I don't know what he's on to about. Right? I don't know what he's on about. The fact is, there's American culture, which we all enjoy, love, experience, whatever. And then there's subcultures, which everyone has. So Will Cain making these comments, I don't know I don't know what point he was trying to make or what he was trying to get across. It just seems wrong-headed and stupid, to be honest with you. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comments. We catch you guys on the next show tomorrow.